Hey everybody, welcome in. I'm really excited because today we're going to be listening to gacha music. Gacha music has taken the world by storm, regardless of what you think about mobile games or gacha games in general, which all of your opinions and thoughts and feelings about gacha music are valid, or gacha games are valid. I have to admit, gacha music is very good. All the whales' money has to go somewhere, doesn't it? Let's check out a bunch of awesome gacha game music and have a great time. First up is Under Dimension from Punishing Gray Raven. Punishing Gray Raven is actually one of the reasons I fell in love with EDM music. And I love sharing Under Dimension with people. I love sharing PGR's music with people. And Under Dimension is so satisfying to listen to. Just amazing stuff out of Vanguard Sound Studio. Let's check it out and talk a little bit about it, shall we? I love the way that this starts because it starts pretty chill, pretty like, what's going on, kind of slow. We have a little bit of forward momentum in the lower strings, and in the piano, I should say. And then we just dive in. The piano mixed with the violin is just such a wonderful, wonderful sense of almost like realization or discovery, which is really satisfying. We have some really nice arpeggiation in the piano. Lower notes in the strings. We kind of set ourselves up here for when the beat starts to take over. These are just like chords, you know, pretty slow, pretty... And then we slow down, almost to nothing, and then we click in. It's just so good. Does strings cause a sense of tension a little bit? Forward momentum in that rhythm, right? A little bit of dissonance in there. Big difference from the piano into this, right? Super different. We reset into a new idea. I mean, that's like such a slight melody on the very top, but it's just wonderful. Da, 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 da. Very basic melody. And yet it feels like we're fighting against, you know, fighting against ourselves, trying to conquer the world, whatever, you know what I mean? And then we reset again. Now it's just the upper right hand. Now that's the melody line that we heard earlier, but it was stretched out. Now we're moving faster. It's basically just an arpeggiation, and then we wind up again. Click into a new idea. Love the single vocal. This is very common in Vanguard Sound's music on the back half of their stuff. Beautiful, just vowels. Humming thing. Humming is so powerful. Vowels are so powerful. Then we repeat back to that spinning idea that we heard earlier. We reset this. Now that's actually a slow build right here. Here comes the best part. Here comes the best part. Here comes the best part. And then that nice fade away. Under Dimension is easily one of my most favorite of the Punishing Gray Raven soundtrack. I wouldn't even say it's empowering, but it just hits you right in the face. It feels just so raw and so soulful, especially that gorgeous drop there with that EDM. And it's just so incredibly satisfying to listen to and really, really, really impressive. That concept and that style of music is what makes, I think, Punishing Gray Raven so exceptional. Story's great too, of course, and it has its moments just like any other gacha game. The soundscape that Punishing Gray Raven has is really, really exceptional. One fan base that will never stop talking about their favorite gacha game is the Limbus Company gacha game fans. And I don't know anything I've tried to play Limbus Company. I don't get it. I respect you. I got no problem with you liking it. I don't know what's going on. I've tried so hard to like this stuff. It's over my head. I don't know what it is, but I've heard some really cool music, and obviously Millie also works with the Limbus Company, and Millie has amazing music. But I also really like the music that the in-house sound team is creating. I believe this is one, unless it's Millie, but I don't think it is. This is Sancho's theme from Limbus Company, Kanto 5, 6, 7, Boss Battle Theme 4. Love the vocals. That's crazy. Give me that Spanish guitar, baby. Where is it? Whoa, that's all over the place. Wow. Oops. What's that key change? Triplet. Holy hell. I really appreciated how that music was so bombastically wild. When I first heard like 10 seconds of it, I was like, ooh, chorus, ooh, operatic sound. Really, I dig that. One of my complaints about Limbus Company's music at times is that it really is constantly at a very loud volume. It is constantly one dynamic. And that particular song was another example of that. I would have liked to have seen more of that flamenco Spanish guitar come in, have a little bit of a melodic solo in there, pull back on some of the bombast, pull back on some of the heavy orchestration. Now, that being said, I think it does a great job of showcasing, like, you know, a back against the wall, real stressful circumstance. Now, of course, it's a boss battle theme, so naturally you're going to have that. But there is some room in there, I think, as we, you know, as the composers continue to work on their music, to have some ebb and flow. Because when something is one dynamic volume, what ends up happening is we start to sort of tune out. And that unfortunately happened to me about halfway through. It's, you know, it's almost a 4-minute song. And so there are parts of that I was like, oh God, okay. But I will say that there was a middle section there with a really, really predominant doubling melody that was really, really lovely and set home the idea of like chance, of possibility, of like doing something and really doubling down on it and getting it done. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was pleasant to listen to, but I think with a little bit of micro adjustments in terms of volume, in terms of dynamic presentation, I think it would have landed much better. Also, really, really cool to hear singers. Now, I know this, assuming this is all like VST work and not actual singers, but it would be crazy to hear that with real singers because of where it sits in the range. There's also a section where it goes up even higher, and that just like smacks you right in the face. I know I mentioned that earlier about Punishing Grey Raven, and it's similar here, where because we have that upper register singing and that switch into the higher register in changing of key near the end, you really get this forward momentum that like never stops, and it's really powerful to hear that through human voice. Was it my favorite piece? No, by no stretch of the imagination, but it does make me intrigued to listen to more Limbus Company because clearly there's a lot of passion put into that music, and for that it was really fun to check out. Let's go over to Battle Cats because I think it's ridiculous that this game exists. Let's check out battle theme number 1 from Battle Cats. Oh. I have heard this before. Why is it a polka? It's a polka. Oh boy. Love the mallet. What is that? Marimba? It sounds like a what a fun timbre to that. Listen, it just goes to show that there's music for everything. Was that piece mind-blowing? No. Was that piece wonderful and peppy and playful? Yeah, 1,000,000%. You don't need to listen to some random YouTuber talk about that. You know exactly what that sounds like. Not every piece needs to be like this deep analytical thing. Like sometimes it's freaking ridiculous. It's just fun to listen to something like that and just be like, oh yeah, this is silly. This is playful. Wait, I'm in a song. This is the perfect video to do it for. Arknights is a game that I have been low-key really into for the last year. I don't always play it, but when I do, I'm always very happy. It's probably one of the few gacha games where I've actually built my characters. And I also play extremely meta because I want the game to be as easy as possible. They provide very cool operators. And it's the only tower defense game I've ever truly enjoyed. I'm really happy because one of the composers, Adam Gubman, actually asked me to be on a song. And so I'm going to selfishly share it with you on a gacha game video because, well, this is the perfect place to talk about it. Here's Unmask. It's a song about Lapland, the Decadenza, Portatori dei Velutti theme. Love how we chose to, with this Italian theme, to go with accordion, and then here's me. Really nice. It adds just a little bit of like, you know, class. Love the bite on this singer. Again, we get that mandolin in there. It's so satisfying. Very musical theater-like. Reminds me of Chicago, the musical, quite a bit. A little bit of like punky. Let me just pause really quickly to just indicate that, like, you know, Lapland as a character is really complex because Lapland's really hard to pin down. Lapland's a little crazy. And I think that this song does a great job of showcasing Lapland's characterization. Lapland just does whatever Lapland wants to do. She's very odd because she's essentially a Joker character, and there's chaos everywhere she turns. She's also a perpetuator of the chaos. And so this theme does a really great job of presenting her as a competent and focused character who, even though she does whatever and she's kind of unreliable, she doesn't hesitate to live life the way that she wants to live it for herself. And I find that to be really interesting musically as well.
Monkey see, monkey do. Come on, monkey, break your mask, control the real you. Disruption, harder than corruption. Come on, monkey, break your mask, see the real you.
This was the theme I sang earlier in the piece. Nice doubling there.
What do you think you're gonna do? Follow a dead end road while I expose the truth. I'm no savage, you're just savage. I know that the truth's a lot to ask. I'm gonna rip off that mask.
Key change.
What do you think you're gonna do? Follow a dead end road.
She's screaming. I mean, it's fascinating. Oh, that's your guitar in the background, showcasing that. Oh, it's great stuff. It's not typically a piece of music that I would necessarily be crazy about, but the way that it's structured is just so fun, and it really, really has that musical theater vibe to it. But also, I think you can really hear the willingness to just like let bygones be bygones, and I love it. I love the way that this singer just says, "I want to rip off that mask," and it's so enunciated and so in your face, and that's really Lapland as a character. It's great. Next up is something completely different. In 2020. 2024, I played Granblue Fantasy Relink, and it was one of my favorite games of the year, actually. So much to like about this series, so much to enjoy, such a wonderful thing that happened this year with these gacha game companies that then went on to make massively successful single-player or, well, multiplayer experiences. We had that with Shift Up with Stellar Blade, and we had that with Cygames with Granblue Fantasy. And what's also really cool for me, as a huge Final Fantasy fan, and I don't know if you out there watching this are a Final Fantasy fan, Granblue Fantasy was composed in part by Nobuo Uematsu. And I really love the main theme from the gacha game, which I think is also the main theme of Granblue Fantasy Relink. Let's check it out, shall we? So pulled back. The flute being the main motivic driver there. Now we're sailing the seas, we're sailing the skies, we're in adventure mode. Now there's the main theme. With that really strong beat emphasis there in the orchestra with that gorgeous trumpet on top. That's so beautiful. It was so warm, you know, so bright. The doubling really does that. Also going up like that and resolving down. Nice little accent there with that. Repeating that little motif there. Oh my goodness. And it's lovely, and it has such a classical ending. I mean, it's a terrific little piece, you know. It's so warm, it's so welcoming, it's so inviting, it's so deceptive. How gentle that first couple minutes is. The first couple minutes makes it feel like, oh, okay, what's happening here? What's going on with the flute? Why is it so like, oh, I'm a little bit bored. Maybe I should fast forward a little bit. And then wham, you thrust in the face with this wonderful momentum with the rhythm. And then you get that gorgeous trumpet melody. And then it goes on a little bit of a journey of its own, just as we are going on that journey. And it's a delight. And the whole thing is just so orchestral. And obviously then that has expanded to a bunch of really cool songs like Zero, Prettiest Little Alchemist, and there's a Morning Light Hymnist. Like, I mean, there's like so many great pieces of music from Granblue. I almost want to download this and replay it because it's such a good game. And Granblue Fantasy Relink, the non-gacha version of this game, was a delight. And it was really cool to see them take the money that they've earned from the gacha and really produce a high quality product that I think a lot of people were really happy with. Now, I think it came out much earlier in 2024, so unfortunately with some recency bias, I don't think it will get any of the recognition that it really deserves. I also don't know if they're still supporting it, but I have to say that this was one of the first games of 2024 that I played that I really locked into and really enjoyed, and I was so pleased that I played this year. Sonic Runners was a game that I didn't know existed until I went to film this video. And if you don't know this about me, I've recently started my Sonic education on its music and its gameplay. And so of course I'm going to listen to End of the Summer from Sonic Runners. I'm in it. Love this. Now this is Sonic. Super melodically focused. That's so fun. That's so bright. Gorgeous little harmony there. Listen to the bass in the background too. It's really fun to listen to that. It's moving. And then we get back to the piano melody with a really nice counter melody in the violin. Hey. Love that little lick there. Ta-da. Oh. Another key change. Oh! Yes! Love when that happens in music, when we defy expectations, pull back like that. Oh. Nice resolution there. Da, 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 da. Wow. Wow. Talk about a piece that was so exuberant, so joyful, so inviting. And it just like screams Sonic. It screams bright, playful, effervescent. Keep on going. Laugh it up, baby. Keep the train moving. You can do it. It's just like so exceptionally bright, warm, friendly, outgoing, playful. That may be one of my new favorite songs because it's typical Sonic. And I think that was one of my big complaints with Frontiers actually, is that Sonic Frontiers was missing some of that joyfulness that we often get with Sonic music. It's so bright, it's so warm, love forward momentum there. And that particular piece also, I really liked the acoustic quality of that because it used piano, because it used the upper strings, and obviously the drums, and also really like the electric guitar and the bass, which was moving around quite rapidly. My father was a bassist, and I love listening with one ear and really isolating. It's something that you should really do anytime you're really listening to music. It's like isolate the sounds. And like, look, we're not talking about detailed theory breakdowns here. And in fact, this isn't really the channel for that. But what we are talking about is how pieces make us feel, how music makes us feel. And I have to say, all the pieces on this video so far have been a delight to listen to. All of them have been interesting. All of them have been unique. All of them have brought a different emotion. It's been a really nice variety of feelings, whether it's empowerment, sadness, reflection, enthusiasm. And that's a joy. I mean, this is the power of music. This is the joy of music. Marco, review Mythoclast and My Life Is Yours. We're going to be listening to Mythoclast from Girls Frontline. This is also by Vanguard Sound, the same composers, the same studio as Punishing Gray Raven. Serious tension right away. Wow, fascinating crunch. Definitely like a cybernetic approach to it, of course. But that rhythm is really keeping us in line. Nice horns there. Oh, I love this thing. When we use... It almost sounds like a children's choir. Super high stakes. That almost sounds like Bulgarian women's choir. Wow, subtle melody in the back there. Wow, that's big. It almost feels like it merges within itself. It's very heavy. Wow, that brass too is really pointed. It's so dissonant. It's so dissonant. That's very heavy. It's interesting how a piece like that is very heavy and it doesn't necessarily have a drop. And I think we're really used to having pieces that go from 0 to 60, build up to something, and then have a little shift, a big beat, and then they fall off, right? That didn't have that. But what it did have was very, very elongated and sustained senses of heaviness. And I think the heaviness works really well in its favor. I think that adding the female choir there, that sort of Bulgarian white voice style of singing there, extremely effective, extremely haunting, and I think that that adds to the sense of stress and drama, of course. Now you also have those powerful strings that are right, that, and then you also have that lower brass that's really pressing into us, and it really is intense and very satisfying to listen to. I would think I would have liked a build-up and a resolution, but I also think that it wasn't necessary because it really kind of sinks into your bones and makes you feel like kind of like a heavy presence, and that made it really, really interesting to listen to. One of the folks in chat earlier said, you go in for anime girls and leave with depression. Let's go into the Clarion Call from the Goddess of Victory, Nikke, Last Kingdom main theme. Again, like a Spanish flair. Oh, it's Pernell. She's so good.
In majesty, with a blade of steel, the warrior maiden awakens free from jewels to
Very, very, very syllabic, telling a story. Lots of doubling in there, actually. It's such a battle cry song, you know, Clarion Call. Nice use of chorus. Love that little piano there. Wait, we got to talk about how cool that is. You don't ever get to see this often. That was word painting. Word painting is so cool. Singing the Clarion Call up high. What happens? Pernell sings higher. It's such a little detail, but like that little stuff makes a song so much freaking better. It's really cool. Also, Pernell sounds amazing. Pernell's a jazz singer. And oftentimes, Pernell's asked to sing operatically. And Pernell does a great job. The tambourine in the back. This is so like, let's go. Sharp moonlight there. That's interesting. Whoa, wait. I was yapping during that. Listen how cool that transition is. Oh, the poison dance. Diminished. Oh, I love the doubling, man. Wait. Oh, man. Taking away in a trance. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Taken away in a trance. It's so much fun. Ooh. Oh. Love the piano in the background, the strings again, lots of doubling. I love that piano in there. Man, okay, ooh, I thought it was over. so much doubling. Makes a huge difference. Nice. That's a call and response. That's stupid good. That's stupid good. God, that's so satisfying to listen to. Like, that feels so good to listen to. Now, you know, you can say whatever you want about Nikke, and those of us that know what Nikke is, you know, you're probably a gooner. No, you're probably someone who really appreciates good music and good storytelling. But I gotta say, it's insanely good. It's insanely good. And musically, like, that is so powerful. How are you not going to enjoy that? I mean, like, that's like such a fascinating piece. And not only that, but there's like so much in there that we can extrapolate and then make that piece mean something even more. And it's like so satisfying. It's emotional. It's enthusiastic. It's got power in it. Pronounced sounds amazing. You know, the cute little like vocalism and texture. It's like so fun to have word painting in there and to explore just all the doubling, the strings, the piano. I mean, like, there's some moments that are extremely virtuosic. And on top of that, because of all the money that Nikke has made, Shift Up was able to make Stellar Blade. Easily one of my favorite games of 2024 and easily one of the best soundtracks of the year of 2024. And if it's not included in any sort of, depending on when this video goes up, the Game Awards may have already happened, who knows. But the point is that, like, it really deserves a place on the soundtracks of the year. Studio Monaka and Shift Up did such a great job with Stellar Blade. And I love it. I really love Stellar Blade. And Nikke deserves recognition just as much as Stellar Blade does. Okay, let's check out Honkai Star Rail. Now, historically, I've not been a big fan of Honkai Star Rail's music. And obviously, a glaring omission from this is Genshin Impact. But Genshin Impact was recently in another video I did. We can't talk about Gacha Games without talking about MiHoYo. So I had to kind of pick. I mean, MiHoYo now has like 4 different IPs. So I just decided to go with Honkai Star Rail. Today, we're going to be listening to Ode und Leer das Meer. Ode und Leer das Meer. Oh, it's a German phrase from the opera Tristan und Isolde. Holy shit. Desolate and empty is the sea. It appears near the beginning of T.S. Eliot's 1922 poem, The Wasteland. And that's why MiHoYo deserves respect. Because they are able to combine these pieces of literature, other art forms, other mediums, and combine them into something. And whether or not you like Gacha Games or like MiHoYo or whatever, one has to, I think, pay a little bit of respect to the fact that, like, this is really, really cool. Interesting how we're setting a soundscape here before we launch into music. There's the single. It's almost like coming face to face with a black hole. It's like it's almost like the sound is muted. It reminds me of where I stopped playing around 2.1 with the large red orb, and like that's the soundscape. It's like, it's very odd because it's very peaceful and tranquil, but also kind of disarming and a little bit scary. It's almost like there's nothing to cling on to with no definitive melody, you know? And that does sound like it's low brass, or low strings or low cello. Almost like there's a quality of inevitability or inescapability. Because it does have crescendos and decrescendos, but it feels more like waves than it does. Like right there, I mean, that's like a very smooth transition to a different set of notes. Again, there's that real low emphasis there with the lower strings. And the lower strings in this case are actually more warming than the oppressiveness of the upper register, which is really interesting. Now we pull back, and actually now the strings come in, and that's peaceful. It's the sharp transitions, note to note, in this muted, muffled sound that actually cause more distress than that low hum, which is pretty cool. Now, you know, when we think about a piece of music, this isn't the first thing that came to mind when I said to myself, let's create a gacha game music episode on the channel. I thought to myself, like, let's listen to, like, you know, melody and all this other stuff. But the reality is that, like, there is a lot to take away from that. I think it's a really important lesson, recognizing that sometimes we need to sit still, and we have a tendency to quickly move away from things that make us uncomfortable or things that challenge us. I think for a large majority of people, stillness makes us uncomfortable. There's a reason why you don't actively hear about people regularly meditating, because it requires discipline. It requires acceptance. It requires sitting still and assessing and contemplating and existing with what is. And that's really hard for most people to do, myself included. I haven't meditated in years. However, a piece like that is really powerful. And if we think about the title name, Desolate and Empty is the sea. You hear that. Desolation and emptiness is a feeling that we regularly experience. Humans experience bouts of incredible depression, of incredible loneliness, of incredible isolation. And why should music not talk about that through sound? That is the human condition. It is the human experience. That's real. And I think one of the most powerful things about music is that it's able to connect us to the hardship that we experience as people who exist in this world. If you've never played a gacha before and you're watching this video for the first time, I'm not asking you to play a gacha. In fact, I would suggest you don't. But what I suggest you do is listen to the music, because the music is genuinely very good throughout all of these games that we've checked out today. There's a lot of thought that goes into these compositions, and there's a lot of thought that goes into creating pieces that will move us as people. I think that's really important. But before we go anywhere, I want to listen to Blue Archive Midnight Trip. I want to see if maybe this puts me out of that wholly depressed state I am now currently in. And it will. And it will. Yes. I love that, dude. Love that piano. Terrific. I mean, Blue Archive has a soundtrack that has really surprised me. Every time I've listened to it, I've always come away with, I never expected that to come from that game. And I think that that's a really cool surprise. It's incredibly satisfying to listen to. And that particular piece was actually pretty mellow and pretty relaxed, but I really loved the piano emphasis there. And of course, that wonderful rhythmic shift there with that beat pattern. Really, really fun stuff. The other stuff I've listened to from Blue Archive, really satisfying. Yeah, I mean, that's like a chill vibe piece that really is just lovely. Gacha games have pretty good music, and I know that most people that have played a gacha know that that's true. However, I felt like it was important to at least make a video addressing the fact that there is a pretty wide spanning style throughout all of these different games. And it's amazing how all of these different games have their own sonoro language. And regardless of your stance, I think that that's worth celebrating. Good music is good music. As always, thanks a ton, and I'll see you later. Bye.